Good evening and welcome back to part 2 of my D&D 4th edition review in 4 parts. The production of part 2 took a lot longer than I thought, mostly due to my somewhat hectic life and a number of personal setbacks, but here I am. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Last time we had a look at the races of Dungeons and Dragons. If you ask me, they are not very different from what we had in earlier editions. Okay, there are some newcomers, but still they behave the way races did in 3rd edition, don't they? Now the classes. The classes are a completely different story, as none of the basic 4E classes are comparable to the 3E classes, and it's almost impossible to convert, let's say, a cleric from 3.5 to 4E. Why is that? First of all, class progression was streamlined. All classes get the exact same amount of shebang at the same rate. That's right. No more fighters getting tons of sweet stuff every level, while wizards have to sit over the books and cry. Each level, all classes get the same number of powers, features, and special abilities. Isn't that sweet? The powers of each class are split into 4 groups: at-will powers, encounter powers, daily powers, and utility powers. So you might ask, what's that all about? At each level you have a given number of those powers your character can use. At level 1, for example, you know 2, 1, 1, 0. That's 2 at-will powers, 1 encounter power, 1 daily power, and no utility powers. And mind you, it's the same for all classes. Usually at-will powers are the weakest, with the daily powers being the most powerful ones. Most of them actually effective enough to change the tide of a battle. At each level you can choose to learn a number of new powers. You can choose them from a short list of 4 to 8 powers, depending on your level and class. Spellcasters, especially wizards, might rejoice and curse that system at the same time. Alright, the spell slots are gone. You can use at-will powers, which are basically spells when it comes to the wizard, round after round after round, without ever worrying that the one important spell isn't available when you need it most. That's pretty nice, I think. The problem is that you buy that security with the loss of flexibility, which was treasured by most spellcasters. Especially at early levels, you end up casting the same spell over and over, round by round. From my experience, a lot of players get bored with 4E spellcasters fairly quickly, even though they get a lot better, more flexible at higher levels. As a wizard, you have 4 at-will cantrips, which are pretty useless in most situations. You can choose 2 at-will spells from a list of 5, 1 encounter spell from a list of 5, and 1 daily spell from a list of 4. Compared to the sheer number of spells you had at your disposal in 3.5, that seems a bit boring, actually. The spells itself are pretty much the same spells we knew from earlier editions, like we have Ray of Frost, we have Magic Missiles, Cloud Daggers, Burning Hands, Fireball, Ice Storm, Wall of Fog, Blur, Prismatic Beams, Frostburn, you know, the whole list of spells, they are there, basically. So what else is different with classes? Well, the hit points, for example. You no longer let the dice decide how many you have. No, each class has a fixed number plus the constitution modifier. This makes sure that even spellcasters start off with a decent amount of HP. No more 1d4 ending up with 1 additional HP per level. Prestige classes are gone completely. Instead, you choose a Paragon path at level 10. It's basically the same as Prestige classes, only Paragon paths make more sense and are tailored to the need of each specific base class. I like it, and so do most players I know. Once again, the problem is that you trade this goodie for a lot of flexibility. At level 30 you choose an Epic Destiny. A quite fuzzy feature that doesn't seem to help a lot. Oh, and yes, the new progression goes up to level 30, so epic levels are included. Yay! So, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this short insight into D&D 4e, and stay tuned for part 3, which hopefully won't take as long to get done. See you around, and have a nice evening. Bye.